Hey guys, my name is Hyperion Grey Solomon. Most people just call me Saul or Solomon. Uh, I'm a business owner. I run a kratom centric business. It opened originally as an apothecary, but people seem to really like the kratom and the kava, and I kind of went down that avenue. And the kratom has been very successful and has helped a lot of people. And then I got sick, and I found microdosing of psychedelic mushrooms. Microdosing, so not enough to get high, but an imperceptible amount of this matter made me okay again. It made my depression eventually go away. It made most of my anxiety go away. It made it so that I could connect with people emotionally. It made my social inadequacies, because I'm autistic. It I don't know. It just felt comfortable being me. And so I was able to socialize and learn how to fit in with people in society and how to connect with them, especially emotionally. And I attribute most of this to the microdosing of the psychedelic mushrooms. So, depression, anxiety, severe post-traumatic stress disorder as well. I was able to work through that trauma. And some relationship issues as well. It helped me kind of build a stronger sense of self, and it allowed me to deeply empathically connect with other people. And for someone with autism, that's usually, it's hard. If you look up the studies online, you'll find that people who are autistic kind of lack some affective empathy. Their studies are on PubMed. You can look it up. And this kind of like once I had these experiences, they permanently changed me as a human being, as a person. And like I said, I didn't even know I was on it. 3 months every day. 3 months. Did not know that I was on anything. I'd forget that I had even taken it. The reality was, it's so gentle, you don't know it's making. For my experience was, it's so healthy. My experience was, I didn't even realize it was rewiring my brain. And it happened. It's so gentle and so benign. It rewires the way your brain works, the way you think, the way you feel, the things that you believe. It's like, now I understand hippies. Why were the hippies dropping out, man? Everything's about love. I get it now. I get it now. So I'm a business owner. We kind of have a set of personality traits usually that are enduring and pro-social. And we're very resourceful people who can if we're successful, we can usually get the job done even at our own detriment, right? It takes a certain kind of person to be able to build something like that, right? It's not easy, especially when you're we started when I was homeless for a year. I was destitute, poor. It takes a special kind of person to have those characteristics. The drive, the ambition. The thing is that shit's a little toxic too. So, and the thoughts were stepping outside of my normal, here's my normal range of thoughts and feelings, right? And these were it was almost like it put the voice of God inside of my head. If I'm not religious, but that's the best way I can put it. And you occasionally get these weird insights delivered into your mind. And you're like, oh, God, I feel so much better now. Or, oh my God, I totally understand now. Is that how I am? Is that how I make you feel? I'm so sorry. It makes you a better, and in my experience, it made me a better, a healthier person. And it helped me. I had been working and caretaking and raising kids, and it chewed away at my sense of self over a few years. And eventually, I even kind of lost myself, eventually. And it helped me remember who I was. I got so depressed, because I was working 15, 16-hour days, 7 days a week, nonstop. I had a sick, dying spouse who became some sort of weird, hateful monster from all of the pain that she was in, and I didn't even know who she was anymore. I didn't understand what was going on. And my life was terrible. I got hollowed out and was dead inside. And we won't go into that, but it was to the point where I was begging God to take my life. I just wanted to die. Every hour of my life was painful. You can only go in that mode for so long before you collapse. But I wasn't allowed to collapse, because if I collapsed, everybody would perish. People would die. The kids would die. My sick spouse would die. I had to just push through it. And the thing, after 2 years, I couldn't get out of bed. For 3 months, my kidneys were failing, my organs were failing. I was urinating kidney failure brown. I was filling Powerade bottles. I didn't take any pleasure in anything for 9 months. I didn't laugh or cry for 9 months. The anhedonia, this void I experienced, was all-encompassing and profound. Eventually, I couldn't even form sentences, and then words. Eventually, I couldn't even think. I just laid in that bed and rotted long enough to get the kids to their grandparents' house so I could end things. And these brought me back. These saved my life. And I really didn't think there was any way out of that. I had a plan and everything. I knew what I was going to do and when, and for the most part, and where I would go so no one would find my body. And yeah, I married someone that was really abusive and hollowed me out, made me dead inside. I left my body, my mind. No one else mattered. The only thing that mattered was them. Them. I don't know, man. But I don't think they did that on purpose, and I still don't think that they can see that. And that's fine. Whatever. That relationship taught me a lot, though. It taught me a lot about my own wounds. You know what? I do matter. And this is not what love looks like. And it taught me a lot of other things. Some people just can never be happy. And I'm so glad that I am not one of those people. There are people who genuinely do not have the brain anatomy to experience joy. Doesn't mean they go around abusing people, but some people do. And they don't have the ability to introspect, or which is a choice, I guess. I guess there's people like that. It's crazy, right? Nah, that's the thing, man. And there are some people, not only can they not love and not experience joy, they can't even experience the depth of the emotions that we have that make life so beautiful. So I leave that situation feeling sad for this other person, because they did none of the work. They did nothing. 5 years. Went to therapy 4 times in 5 years. I was going almost the entire time, because I was degrading slowly. I'm I can't keep up with this. They're yelling dozens of times a day for weeks, months. This person is sucking the life out of me. Why are they saying these things about me? This isn't who I am. And I now understand that it was projective identification, that this is them, and they're pushing their inadequacies and their bad feelings and unresolved issues of the self onto me, right? And this person essentially, I'm going to say it. This person essentially beat the life out of me. Physically, verbally, emotionally. Until I couldn't get out of bed. I eventually broke. And they didn't care. Yeah, I was suicidal. No, not really. So, I'm taking these magic mushrooms, right? A little tiny nibble off of them for 3 months. And I started having these experiences. I started remembering what I used to do, which I would just flip. Nothing. I was I was completely lost. Nothing brought me joy. I would skim through channels on TV for hours. And this would be consecutively, day after day after day after. I would literally be there for 6 hours just scrolling through everything, hundreds of TV shows, and nothing brought me anything. It was just dead space inside of me. And then I remembered, hey, 5 years ago you used to like to do this. And I'm that doesn't sound like fun. But I did it anyways. And I'm let's drink a beer first. F the world. Screw everybody. And I drink a beer, and I'm this is fun. Let's go out into the woods and dink around. And I did. Everything was covered in a thin film of ice. And it was 2 in the morning. And I got in my car and I enjoyed it, which is weird. So I started doing things like that. I started working less, stopped taking care of everyone all the time. And I very slowly made it come back. Like, my depression went away slowly. I didn't even notice it was happening. The anxiety went away slowly. It's all about taking that first step. You gotta get out of bed. You gotta go do something. And it's not fun, you know? But this, like, made it fun, I guess. So, and so I was someone that had a lot of health problems, right? And I remember, like, I'm like, I can't leave this person. I can't abandon them. They're saying if I leave, that they're going to die within a week. If I leave, if I divorce them, if I ask them to move in with the parents or whatever. And I'm like, I can't do that to somebody, so I'll stay. Excuse me. And where was I headed with that? It just kind of, and like watching someone suffer like that, when you have empathy, it kills you. It kills you to see someone hurt that bad. It hurts so bad to live like that, to be, like, to have that. Especially when it's someone you really love, you emphatically love, when you care about so much. To see someone die like that is horrifyingly painful. It'll mess you up for the rest of your life. You know? And it made me realize how ungrateful I am for my own mental health, for my own physical health. So I started enjoying things, right? I started coming downstairs, getting out of that bed I was rotting in, this bed rotting. I'd go to the bathroom in the morning, like in the toilet, instead of in a bottle. Shameful, I know. And I remember the first time I stepped outside of myself after taking that morning microdose. Morning, because, you know, it kind of keeps you awake. And I was just sitting on the toilet. There was this thought that isn't within my normal, like, thing of thought. It was like out here, and it said, she's never happy, never, and blames it on you. Maybe she'd be happier with someone else. And then another one, and then it was like, maybe you're just not man enough to meet all of her needs. Maybe she would be happier and healthier with someone else. Oh, sorry, I'm recording. And instead of that hurting or causing anxiety, it totally felt okay. I just instant acceptance and, like, relief and feeling okay. Whereas normally that would make me panic. And can you guys close the door? Can you close the door? Please? Thank you. So, I want to keep the kids out of this. I'm a single dad. I've got sole custody. 9 years now. From a previous marriage, though. Anyways, it made me okay with having a conversation about, what do you really want? What would make you happy? And they're like, some sort of super hippie dude. And I'm like, that's not me. Not quite. And they described what they would look like. Really long hair, maybe some dreads, smoke weed all the time. And I'm like, that's not me. And I was just okay with having this conversation and figuring out what it is that they think that they want. Even though I don't think they really knew what they want. And it took me being able to step outside of myself a lot. And this weird, like, what I would refer to as almost like divine intervention popping in my head. And making it feel okay. And I just left that situation feeling okay with things not working out. You know, like, I didn't feel like this terrible person for wanting out of the relationship, for, like, I don't know, the way they would perceive it as abandonment. Which is only something I've recently started learning about the past couple of years. This is a strange concept for me. Foreign concept. the anxiety went away. I was experiencing anxiety on a daily basis to the point where it felt like going through opiate withdrawals. I thought my heart was going to explode in my chest, and there were several times where I actually was fully convinced I was about to die. It was that bad. Like, my mental health degraded to the point of being psychotic. Like hallucinations. Like, this is why people end their life. I've been hollowed out to that point. And there was nothing left inside of me, just a buzzing sound, a buzzing feeling that manifested my whole body. My frontal lobe shut down. It felt like it was made of lead. Like, there were no thoughts, there were no feelings. It was like, this is how demons end up demons. They're hurting so badly, all they can do is hurt people around them. They're just these, like, lost spirits that are wailing in pain. It's like, now, I'm like, I didn't understand. This is how it feels to be this person. And that's what they did to me. Like, that's what their trauma did to me anyways. And, you know, I eventually, like, collapsed and turned into this, like, nasty, I don't know, angry, bitter, resentful, miserable, fuck. And like, that's not who I am. So, I don't know, I made the anxiety go away slowly. I was able to start enjoying things that I couldn't enjoy before. Like, I was humanly incapable of experiencing any emotions, really. And then, like, I made a comeback. It just kind of helped me figure out who I was again. I lost my sense of self by caretaking the kids, the sick spouse, the business, being a homeowner, doing everything. Like, almost every last thing. The cooking, like, the laundry, the folding it, the putting it away, even for the kids. Like, virtually everything. I mean, even on, like, 99% of the meals, even, I had to, like, get on a nightly basis. There's just, like, if there were two of me, they wouldn't have been able to do what I was doing. It would have been impossible. My post-traumatic stress responses, you know, to the things that this person had, like, said and done and did, you know, eventually start to react to that abuse. And then it's like, you're the abuser. I stopped doing that, largely. I would just sit and I would listen, sometimes for hours. It was exhausting. Hours and hours, days, weeks. And I wouldn't react. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. And I didn't know what they were really talking about. Like, it didn't make sense. So I didn't know how to engage with the conversation in a way that was emotionally validating most of the time. Plus, it kind of lacked those skills to some degree. So it's kind of like a two-sided thing. There's my own issues, and the issues where this doesn't fit reality. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, how does it go from this to that? Even from an emotional perspective, that doesn't make sense. So, but it did help me kind of pull these emotions out of myself. And I started, like, feeling this other person's pain anyways. And, like, I don't know, I just started hurting for them a lot. And eventually, all that would exist was them. And I felt their pain so deeply that I would sit and I would cry with them, usually on a nightly basis. After they would fall asleep and they took their meds, I would sit at the foot of my bed and I would pray. I'm not religious, but I would pray anyways because I was desperate to make her suffering stop, to make her pain stop. And I prayed to God. I prayed to whatever would listen to me. Please just make it go away. I'll do whatever you want. Like, you can take me. Just please make her stop hurting. And this person, when they became self-aware of their trauma, or just self-aware, they started explaining what it was like to be them, and it was heart-wrenching. I'm like, I didn't understand some of it. Like, when I wake up, my cup is already overflowing. Like, I didn't understand. Oh, that's why you wake up. Why I wake up to you screaming in my face, morning after morning. Like, I don't understand. Like, why do you got to do that? You know, why can't I sleep? Because when she wakes up, she's in screaming pain, I guess, emotionally from the trauma. I don't fully understand it. I don't know. But now that I'm out of it, I can see it, and I was like, but even then I had enough of an understanding that I will never ever look at these people as like bad people. It's more like they're sick and they need help, and this person wouldn't get help, so she kept hurting everyone around her instead of getting the help that she needed and thinking that it's everyone else, and like 95% of the time it was her. But they wouldn't get help. No DBT, no CBT. Even when it was offered for free, like just no drive to get better. And except for some of this online stuff, and I don't know what that would look like. A few small books on Amazon, like workbooks or something. I don't know. And I did love this person dearly. It nearly cost me my life. It definitely cost me my home and my business and my mental health. They're not a bad person. They're just really sick and don't understand what they're doing, from an emotional perspective. And I've met people who have this, and they're like, they weren't like this person. So I know that every one of them is different, and I can't judge them all with this blanketed statement. And, they were a fantastic friend. It only seemed like after we moved in with one another and we got married that like this other person came out. They were really mean, the meanest person I ever met, frankly. But I don't think they were a bad person. It was just like they didn't know how to function in society and the world. And I thought, don't worry, I'll save you. No, dude, no. I can't save anybody. They have to want to save themselves. And the microdosing is how I saved myself. I started experiencing joy and pleasure and gratitude. And some of these persons' accusations, a few of them were correct. Like I did lack gratitude. And it's like, but why? Oh, it was my childhood. Like I looked into that. I looked really deeply for hours at a time. And I'm like, I see my grandmother telling me every single day without exception, you're not enough. She would say things like, all that was in this woman was hatred for everyone. The grandmother that raised me, and she would say things like, I hate you. You're a terrible person. I wish you would just die. I wish I never would have taken you. You're fat. You're ugly. No one's ever going to love you. Remember, all you've got in this world is me, so you better never cross me. I'll throw you out. I'll let you live on the streets. Like, this was like an everyday thing. Like, it was relentless my whole childhood. So I just kind of lived in my bedroom my whole life, and I did not learn how to socialize, because after 6th grade, I just went into my own little weird world where I just kept to myself, and I wanted to keep people out. And I didn't learn to socialize. I didn't learn to connect with people. And high school was extremely abusive, so I didn't have any of that at school. Same with middle school. Some dude named Raymond. It was every single day. It was like his mission to come out and hunt me down. And this guy would tell me crazy stuff like, I'm going to kill you. And he was dead serious. He would like get other people to hunt me down. It was weird. I had a pretty rough childhood after 6th grade. 6th grade and beyond. So, but yeah, so I wasn't able to feel gratitude as an adult. I would just like go from level up from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, instead of being like, oh God, this feels great. Cool. Yeah, I rock. Nothing was good enough on the inside. It didn't mean I externalized that and hurt the people around me. Sometimes things were not enough, and that's a fact. Like people are being neglected. People could die. Like, that's a fact. Sorry, it doesn't make me an abuser. Like, the kids need fed. The kids need clothes. The kids need someone who is at least attuned to them a little bit. It doesn't make me an abuser. It's a fact. But inside of me, there was this weird voice that had been internalized that you are not enough, that no one is ever going to love you. And I was able to dig that out when I was microdosing and figure it out. And it's like, why don't I feel like enough? I've done so much. And I've done so much growth. And I've got this person I married who's telling me the same stuff my grandmother told me. And she was wearing my grandmother's wedding ring because my grandmother gave it to me. And I gave it to her. And I heard this person saying the same stuff. And I remember so many times looking over and seeing them. And it was like I married my hyper-narcissistic grandmother. And I thought to myself, why can't you just love me? And then I realized, this person doesn't love you. They never loved you. They keep telling you that because they keep saying, you don't love me, you don't love me. No matter how much love I gave them, it was never enough. And I'm like, okay. And you try to tell them, I don't feel that way. And then they think you're being gaslit or something. They ramp up, get louder, start breaking stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? So you try harder to love them more, but it's never enough. It was my grandmother. I married someone that was like my grandmother. And then I realized I am enough. F you. I don't feel this way anymore. I've done so much work. I think maybe you're just perpetually unhappy and you blame it on everything else. And then I thought about it for a while. And I realized it helps you realize things, right? About yourself and other people. And like life, love, relationships, like with your kids, with your spouse, with my brother, things like that. It's like waking up, man. It's like waking up. And I realized this person is never going to love me. Because I could do all the change and become what they demand. And then it would flip. And they want the opposite. And I'm like, what the fuck? And that's exactly what my grandmother did. It wasn't like, oh, if you do this, then I will love you or tell you that you're enough or whatever. My childhood wasn't like that. It could have been perfect. And then she would just flip it. Like there was no way to establish a positive feel-good chemical in the brain for like validation. Like, oh great, that feels good. I would do anything to get that again. There was none of that. Does that make sense? Like I didn't get this weird toxic need for validation adaptation because nothing was enough on a daily basis. My entire childhood, like everything was like that. They could only see the bad in things. They could only see the bad in people, especially. That's very personalized. And I realized I married that. That's what I married. This person only sees the bad in people. It's weird. It's like they lack the ability to see the nuance to people to almost any degree. They just have no depth at all. And I realized this person's never going to love me. This person's never, ever going to, like, accept me for who I am. And all they can do is project. And so I'm like, you say you love me. Can you tell me what you love about me? For months, they couldn't think of a single thing. I'd ask every weekend. And they looked so confused. And I'm like, okay, why do you want me in your life? Couldn't think of anything. Okay, how do I increase your quality of life? Nothing. Okay, what about by just being me? Nothing. This went every week for months. And then I really realized this person really doesn't love me. And I was microdosing. And I was seeing a forensic psychiatrist at the time. And this person tried to convince me that I had a personality disorder as well. And he's like, you don't have a personality disorder. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good. And he put me on Adderall. And then I really woke up. Because it was like the microdosing and this medication, it lifted the fog. And I was able to see things for what they really were. And I realized this person was only using me. And not because that's exactly what it is. And instead of trying to figure out how they could, like, increase my quality of life, for the large part, they just didn't. They just didn't care. They didn't care about my feelings or any of that stuff. I married my grandma, and, like, I had to, like, grow out of that, or this would have killed me. And the microdosing helped with that. It helped me pull out all of these weird internalized voices from my childhood. It helped me become emotionally available. It helped me understand other people's headspace and to empathize with them and understand that sometimes people just aren't meant for one another, and that's okay. It doesn't mean there's any bad feelings around it, you know? Or maybe there's fleeting bad feelings around it because you feel rejected and that hurts. But, like, that's just the way that it is. Some people's personalities just don't get along. It helped me. I had some other spiritual encounters. I remember one time this person flipped out on me. I went to the pharmacy, and I was very angry. I was angry. I went to the pharmacy to pick up their, like, slew of meds. And as I turned to to go out the window, the door, which was made of glass, right? Metal handle, but the rest of it's glass. Instead of seeing my usual reflection in it, I saw hers. And I was like, but it was just a split second. And I'm like, what? And it's like it had all these connotations to it that it instantly put in my brain and made me realize things. It's so weird to hear me say that, but that's what it's like. And it was like, there's this weird spirit of white light that just like implanted these thoughts all at once. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm hurting someone I love. And I don't even know what I did to upset them. It just didn't make sense. And so I realized, though, that by going back and fighting with this person, because think about it, I saw them. They are me. Me, them. Like, we are one. That's the way my brain interpreted that. And it was like, I came to realize that in that split second, that moment, this person is a part of me. And I left feeling like that forever. That this is like a brother, a sister, that we're all like one. And it's difficult to explain this to people who are, you know, not spiritual or don't have a concept of this stuff, because I don't even have a concept of it. But that's something that's stuck with me now, and it's not going anywhere, man. And it made me realize, like when I went home, you know, it continued. I'm like, I gotta step out of this. I'm gonna react. I'm gonna go out of the room for a minute. You know, then the phone goes. Whoosh. Good thing that was an indestructible phone, man. Yeah, who can say they've never had a phone thrown at them, right? Sorry, I make fun of it. Because I'm not angry, you know? Like, I'm trying to make light of the situation. What I saw when I got home was a person who was hurting. Not this mean ass bitch. That's not what I saw. I saw a child. I saw a child in an adult body. And they were hurting. And it didn't make sense to me. You know, like, okay, I'm just trying to love you. Like, here I am with your meds and you're telling me I don't love you. Like, what the fuck? Nothing's enough for you. And they're raging out and nothing I can say can calm them down. And I'm like, there's just no winning this. I got to get away before I react. But instead, I saw a child. And that stayed with me a lot. Many times they would say these hateful things that were so designed to just hurt me at the core of my soul, of who I am as a person. But what I really saw was a child who was hurting and just could not figure it out. And I felt bad for this person. Yeah, sure, they're abusing the hell out of me, but I didn't feel anger. I walked away just like, God, I don't want to be like that. I'm so glad I'm not like that. I should be grateful. Then, when this would happen, like I said, I kept seeing that, which was allowed me to not harbor as much resentment or anger or pain, you know, not to, I guess, like, take this stuff into me and be like, is this who I am? Is this who this person really believes I'm all of these awful, terrible things, that I'm a rapist, that I'm a pedophile, that I like, what the fuck? It's like they reached, you know, stuff like, oh, you never had a father. Like, why would you bring that up into this conversation? Like, why? Because the refrigerator door is not working, so you say this stuff to me? Like, it makes no sense. So, and a lot of it will never make sense because their world doesn't make sense. But I saw the human in the person. You know, it was like separating, I guess, the trauma from the person or something like that. And I'm like, is there two different people here? And I had another experience where this is microdosing. Remember, imperceptible amounts. Like a ridiculous, like a small amount, you know. And I went to bed that night, and I rose up out of my bed, right, in my dream. When I go to sleep at night, sometimes I go in these weird states where I'm in between awake and asleep, and I can see around me, but I can't really leave my body. And since about the age of 17, I've even seen things that are scary. And I think my ex said, like, they're there to keep you from coming all the way out and, like, projecting yourself into this other world. So they're there to scare you. They don't want you to get up and, like, walk in this other realm or whatever. I don't know what that means. But I left that day, and I went up above my house, and I could see my block. And on my block, I could see my neighbors. I could see everything. It was like playing the video game called The Sims. Yes. I was in a... It was real. And it was almost like I went into some sort of, excuse me, but almost like a god mode, or a creator mode, or an editor mode in a video game, where you can watch... No, you be quiet. Oh, you know, I'll show you my dog here in a minute. One of my dogs. I could see into people, see the layers to the people and their emotions and what's going on around them. And some people were like, one mother was putting her child to bed, and she was just in this rapturous love, looking at her baby, getting ready to put the baby down in the cradle. And I think that neighbor was somewhere over there, somewhere toward the west. And I could see other people. I could see my neighbor, Wendy. And I could see people in their homes. Like, I saw other neighbors. I could see them. Some were fighting, you know. One lady was in her bed, sad, because they had a fight. And the husband was somewhere else. I don't remember, the kitchen or something. I don't remember. So, even though people are having these different experiences, right? The one thing I saw in all of them, okay, Vanya, help yourself, was that they were all hurting. Yeah, including the lady putting the child down in the bed. The little baby. She was hurting. I don't know what it was. I looked deep enough, and what I realized is everyone there had something in common. Everyone was hurting. And I could feel it. I could feel their emotions all simultaneously. And I knew what they were thinking. I had everythingness of them. And I was experiencing it all simultaneously. And they were all hurting. And after that experience, I left this weird dream feeling like I had this weird spiritual umbilical cord. And it tied me to everyone around me. And it didn't go away. It stayed like that. And I realized there was a switch that got flipped when I married my first wife, and also my childhood, but most particularly when I married someone who I believe actually has NPD. And I don't want to get into that. It is not the lady I've been talking about in this video. But the way I describe it is there's absolutely no ability to self-reflect to any degree whatsoever. Like, at all. It's like a con artist, but to an extreme. They think that they're better than everyone else. They try to have their needs met in ways that are antisocial. Lie, cheat, steal. Like, no respect at all. There's like a terrible person, whereas like, oh, there's no terrible people out there. No, there are. And thankfully my second wife wasn't like that. I forgot what I was going on. I digressed, and I forgot. I shouldn't have went down that. I should not have mentioned any of that, but I did, so I gotta roll with it. I left that situation a different person. When I woke up the next day, I felt connected to other people. I was able to think, you know, instead of just reacting, because I have ADHD, so I tend to be impulsive. And I'd think, before I'd say something, because I realized there's an emotional connotation to what this person's saying. What is it that they're feeling? It's like every sentence would have this emotional connotation, and I'm like, that's a lot of emotional connotations. Like every sentence is charged. But I was able to identify that. Like most people have an emotion tied to some of the things that they're saying, right? But it's not so intense or so frequent. But with this person, it was a lot. And I'm like, what is it that they're really trying to say? And I'm like, oh. And then I had these words that I was able to figure out what they're. I'm like, okay, well, that. It's interesting words like, I feel kind of betrayed right now. You said you would do blank, and you didn't. And so I feel let down. But I know you're not doing that on purpose. It's like, I don't know. It's like it just rewired the way my brain worked. I had all these words for the emotions I was feeling. And I was able to pull those feelings out of myself. And then I could be vulnerable with this person. And it didn't help. Not at all. But I'm a healthier person because of that, And the connection to other people is beautiful because I can deeply emotionally connect and have these deep, meaningful relationships where before I couldn't. I'm autistic. It's so hard to socialize, especially when you throw emotions into it and you consider the childhood trauma and all the other stuff. Ooh, it's hard. It was hard, but I was able to dig that stuff out. The microdosing made me think outside the box. It made me realize you work too much. Why? Because you're in survival mode. You've been in survival mode for 15 years. Why? Because you're trying to get the lowest thing on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Stability, a house over their head, the next meal, food. Like at one point, I didn't know where the next meal would come from. We were living on the streets for a year. Like, it was bad, dude. It was bad. And I was like stuck like that. And I'm like, I don't have to be stuck like that. We at least have a house. It's okay to just watch TV today and just relax, And I got to exist. It was nice. And I started realizing, why? Why does our world make us work nonstop? I started seeing things in the media. I started realizing I had been being manipulated, that they're manipulating everybody. I just woke up. That's the best way I can explain it. I woke up to so much. And I started reading books, dozens of books. Dozens and dozens of books about all sorts of stuff. Which meant I was able to sit still long enough to read an effing book. I was never able to do that before. I'd lay in bed and just read a book. And I now understand that's called co-regulation or something like that. And I guess I need a little bit of that. Because I'm kind of a wreck. So yeah, I guess I need that. I need that in a partner. I need somebody who also is able to kind of just chill the F out and sometimes kind of like drag me out of my world where I'm always working all the time. Like, hey, let's chill out, man. Let's have a drink. Like, let's eat food and watch TV or do something less to just help me kind of like settle back in, like my mind and my body, and that balance helps keep me functional, healthy, and I don't know there's a word for that. So, and it made me realize a lot more. It made me realize that I'm not spending enough time with my kids. They don't have an emotional connection with me. Like, what's more important? House, food. But they've already got a lot of that. Like, maybe you should just make a little bit of time to connect with them. Hey, let's go out and have some fun, kids. You guys want to go out into nature and do some fun stuff? It changed me as a person, and I did not go back to the way that I was before. So, let's see. I don't know what else to say. If you're suffering from depression, if you're suffering from anxiety, if you have post-traumatic stress disorder, if you have a chronic sense of emptiness inside of you, if you've lost your sense of self due to a toxic relationship, if you've married someone who's a pathological narcissist, an actual clinical narcissist, or someone who's horribly abusive, or if you've worked too much and you're taking care of the kids, something, if it's taken away your sense of self or your identity, if you feel lost, I feel that there's a possibility that these might help you. If you have trouble sitting still, like I do, they help. I know someone. Okay, so these things grow wild out here, right? All over the place. I'm in the Olympics. And everybody's, like, it's becoming a really popular thing. Like, lots of people are waking up to this stuff. And so far, every person that I know who has experimented with microdosing, not macrodosing, has left the situation a healthier person. Some pick up on it right away. Some it's a year later, like it didn't do anything. And I talked to him for a few minutes, like, oh my God, I think it did help. Because you don't realize it's helping, you know, because you don't detect anything. It's so subtle, and over a course of time, you don't see it. It's like putting on weight. You don't realize it. Or losing weight. You don't realize it. It's happening so slowly instead of all at once. Boom! And there's a lot of studies out there that say, oh, microdosing isn't going to help. You got to do the macrodosing. I firmly and staunchly disagree. I'm speaking from experience and the experience of many other people. Every single person I know, which I think I could count on 2 hands, so it's not a lot, 10, 8, 6, I'd have to sit down and write out names. It has helped every single one of them. There has never been a person who has not benefited from this yet. There will be, but I haven't encountered that yet. And there are some risks that are involved. Now, I know that I watched a psychiatrist do a video. I think it's called Dr. K or something like that. And he's stressing, oh, this is dangerous, this is dangerous. It can be dangerous to certain people. If you have a predisposition for schizophrenia, or I forget how it's referred to now in the new ICD-10, or the ICD-10, or the new DSM-5 TR, the revised version. There's a whole cluster now of like schizophrenic-like disorders, and I haven't read the DSM in over a year, so I don't remember. It's like schizophreniform, whatever. That there is definitely a much higher probability that you could go into state of psychosis and like not come back. So, but that's with macrodosing. I don't know about microdosing. So, yeah, as with anything in this world, do your research, look into it a little bit, make an informed decision. These are my experiences. I want to share them with you. Don't be scared, because you're not even, you'd forget you took it. You're not going to notice anything. It's not going to do anything to you. The way I would explain this is, what you're going to experience is, I think you're just going to be okay. That's it. It's like, I'm finally okay now. How is that bad? What are you afraid of? Right? And it's like, whatever it is, it's just in your head. It's just a feeling. It doesn't really fit reality, and it's just in your head. Because I have heard of people experiencing an unpleasant side effect of where they feel spacey once in a while when they're going through an acute state of trauma. So like when my ex and I first split up, I'm like, I'm going to microdose because I can only move around for 3.5 hours a day, and then I collapse. Because, I was in a state of being traumatized, because that's a traumatizing experience no matter what. It's hard when you really love someone and they're gone, just like that, and you're never going to hear from them again. That's traumatizing. I cared about this person a lot. It was hard. So, but what it is, I'd stare off into space for hours and I just couldn't function. And that happened for 3 days, and I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to experience that again. I've got to work to survive. And I know one other person who's a little bit like me, and they experienced the same thing. So they stopped too. But that's about it. But you know what else I realized? In that too long, that journey of healing and feeling okay again, and it needed to happen, by the way. I realized I processed about a month of trauma in those 3 days. A month. And I could measure it by like the other weeks and months that passed. And so I did a insane amount of healing somehow. Don't know how, up here, by going through that. So if you're in a state of serious acute trauma, right? I mean, it might feel unpleasant. I don't know. But that's like the worst I ever got out of it. And it's because something terrible just happened. So, remember, you're not taking enough to get high. You don't, I mean, you might want that. I don't know. I can't comment on that right now because, I don't know. I don't have that knowledge. I don't have that experience. I am afraid to take a larger dose. Microdosing works, you know? I was so afraid of this stuff, all psychedelics, even cannabis, because it makes me trip out, that I was terrified to try it. But when I'm laying in bed and I'm dying, there's nothing to lose, man. I still wouldn't eat the whole cap, though, because I was still scared. Like, I'd rather die. But I'd nibble on it, you know? And the other times I did it, I figured out what regimen worked best for me is in the morning, and it's a really high micro for 7 days, right? For about 3 months or something like that. And that's a lot. But holy crap, does that stuff work. I'm like a normal, healthy person now. I'm happy. So yeah, that's my story. I feel like Kratom was a crutch that was used to abate my depression and anxiety so that I could function in society and be a productive American. It helped me be a productive and healthy father and partner, whereas before I was grumpy all the time because everything took so much effort, you know? And then the tea, the krat, made that stop. And I was able to focus on making a lot of money and finding stability and like, getting a house. And it worked. But that's a crutch, you know? Like, you've got more to figure out. And that's what this did. It caused me to have static changes that stayed with me. And I haven't done it in a couple years. I'm probably gonna get off here and I'm gonna make some capsules right now, because I know that if I do that for a month or two, I'm gonna evolve rapidly, and I'm gonna step out of that probably even healthier. I'll probably become more productive. I'll probably get better at my business. I'll probably read a bunch of books. I'm probably not going to be as distracted. Depression, anxiety will be. I'll probably start to, connect even deeper. Which, by the way, if you love someone, oh God, it's amazing. Like, to make love to someone is beautiful. And before I found this, I don't know if I could do that. Is more like just a basic biological function that 99% of us do. This made it different. I just experienced things so much more differently, and it's beautiful. And I want everyone to experience that kind of connection. And so yeah, that's it. The video is meant to help my customers, my friends, to help my colleagues, to help the people of our world. I'm hoping that you can glean information from the information that I've shared with you, my personal information, and that you're able to consider finding so much health, peace, happiness, joy, gratitude, connection, love, who you are, what really matters in this world. You think you know, but do you? It's meant to help you. Like, no one's gonna save you. Okay? No one's gonna save you. The only person that's gonna save you is you. And the only way through to the other side, most of the time, is to make difficult decisions. And it's scary at first, but I think the vast majority of people are gonna be just fine, and they're not even gonna know. And they're gonna be grateful that they at least tried. Because what do you got to lose? Nothing. I don't understand. There's nothing. I've been on antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds my entire life. I still need something to help me sleep at night. I will never be able to sleep. I will never be 100% okay. That's it. I don't need meds. I'm okay. And you can be okay too. And if you're already doing okay, you might still grow and evolve and be a healthier, happier, more adjusted person by experimenting or looking into it. I don't know. I just know that it was a profound change in so many ways that left me. If I found out I was gonna die, I think I would be okay. Like, I'm gonna be okay. It sounds like it's almost too good to be true. Because, I don't know, I guess I feel like it kind of is. I don't have an explanation for you. It sounds like it's too good. It feels like it's too good to be true. And it's like Michael Bugh said, they made this stuff illegal because it was making people love one another. And that is exactly what they do. Like cannabis. Cannabis is an empathogen, I believe. I experience it as a psychedelic, and mushrooms as well. And those microdoses of both make me more empathic, and they make me love people stronger. And I understand why the hippies were the way that they were. I understand that now. Like, no, of course they don't want to work for corporations and stuff. It's like when Michael Bugh was saying this stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I totally get it. I used to be like that. And it's like, let's drop out. Well, I don't want to work 15-hour days, 7 days a week for 3 weeks at a time before taking a break. I want to enjoy my life a little bit. And so I did. And life is freaking awesome, dude. Life is freaking amazing. Live your life. Be brave. Take a chance. You're going to be fine. Think outside the box, man. Anyways, that's it. My name is Hyperion Grey Solomon. Most people call me Saul. Some people call me Solomon. Nobody really calls me by my first name. I'm the owner and founder of Pharmacy Dropout, LLC, and PDO Botanicals, LLC. And I'm basically a kratom vendor who wants to make a positive change in the lives of the people who do business with me and those around me as well, like just people in general. And, I don't feel like I'm a businessman. Sometimes I think that, but one of my customers told me, like, you're not a businessman, you're a healer. And, like, that felt good because I don't want to be a businessman so much. I'm not good at that. I like the thought of being a healer because I have a lot of love and compassion to give. I still need to, like, pay bills and give my daughter, that I have sole custody of, enough to survive and get by and have a childhood that's decent. And I still want to live my life a little bit. Like, I want some freedom. I want some security. And I'm working on rebuilding things after what I've been through. So, yeah, there's a little bit of money involved, too. But a lot of what I do, my purpose is to genuinely help people. And if I can rebuild this company, this is my aspiration, is when I rebuild this company, and that's with your help, I want to donate 20% of our gross profits to charity, to helping children who are in a state of where they're being traumatized. Like, I want us to make a difference in this world. And I think it should start with the kids. Because if we can eliminate the trauma before it happens, people can live healthy lives, meaningful, and just be okay. And that's what I want. I want that. So I want my company to mean something. And if I can build it up to a point where, I was making the kind of money I was before, that's what I want to do. I want to eventually donate 20% of every dollar that we sell, which would probably be more than the profit margin, to charity. Now, I need to figure that out more, but I will figure it out. I'm a man of my word. And I want to thank you for supporting this company over the past decade. We wouldn't be around if it wasn't for you. So thank you for your love and your support. We are a small family-owned company, and I would like to keep it that way. And your business really makes a difference in the lives of me and the people that I love and care for. And I know that our products do that for you as well. And I want to continue to allow you to prosper while we also are able to meet, our basic needs as well. And we don't need a lot. We just need support. And you're giving that to us, so thank you. Anyways, I'm out. I love you guys. Bye.